This is exactly why I do not have faith in a lot of the progressive media out there, because you're not realistic. You are not realistic about stuff at all. For real.
So Marianne Williamson has she officially declared that she did officially declare, has declared that she's going to be running in the presidential primary. They were asked at the White House if people were upset. I know this is sort of a dumb question to me, but
they don't.
Yeah, and it's not. It was a question posed to the press secretary, right? It was posed by a reporter. Okay, so obviously she's going to respond to it, and yet you're putting the blame on her for answering the goddamn question. Come on, Sam.
Care.
They don't care. They asked the White House, were you upset that Marianne Williamson announced before Joe Biden announced, which I don't think this is the best use of the White House's cachet at the time, but here is their response.
Is the president annoyed, frustrated with Marianne Williamson for jumping in the race ahead of him? Did he want a clear field to run against the Republican nominee in 2024?
Just not tracking that. I mean, if I had a what is it called? A little globe here, crystal ball, I can tell you. But I imagine 8-ball, whatever. If I could feel her aura, I just don't have any. I just don't have anything to share on that.
You sure?
That is an absolutely fair comment. She has said spacey things like that she spends $3,600 on orbs. And so the reason that y'all have given her so much press is kind of surprising to me. I'm surprised by it, and I'm sure that he wasn't even fazed by her making an announcement, because she's not going to siphon off enough votes to even make a dent. It's not going to happen. And so for y'all to keep lifting her up when she is an utterly ridiculous candidate, and she just makes us look bad. If we're supporting her, we look bad.
Something.
Jeez, who's?
Gosh, you guys are making me laugh now.
Yeah, smug and needless.
I mean, completely needless. I mean, I believe that they're probably not tracking it. I mean, I think there's no reason why,
But she had a bit set up, so they're tracking it enough.
Do you think she did, though?
I feel that seems...
No, she didn't, because she couldn't even remember that the tweet was about orbs. She was trying to go off memory, and she couldn't even remember that the tweet that Marianne put out there was about orbs, about budgeting $3,600 a month for orbs. And Amy Klobuchar replied back to her, spend less on orbs. And Marianne replied back, no. It is ridiculous. So what, you want to put up your Trump version on the left? Is that what you want to do?
You said globe instead of crystal ball, so.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Maybe she was just riffing, but...
I think she was just riffing, and I think it was stupid. There's no point in alienating anybody at this point.
I say no.
I mean, Marianne Williamson also knows she's not going to...
Look, you know what? There is a point in pointing out the ridiculousness of what's happening on that side of the house, because those of us who actually want Medicare for all don't want fucking cartoon characters to represent us.
Win the presidential primary against Joe Biden. She's running, for her own reasons, and
so
some lefty ideas that she wants to put out there. It's just, there's no reason to punch down at her, and it just feels like a smugness in the kind of Washington circles that I don't know if it's going to rub a bunch of people the wrong way, but it's going to rub some people the wrong way. It's more indicative of their mindset than anything.
The people who it's going to rub the wrong way are the people who we want to not be involved in organizing to begin with, because they're so crazy. I've been doing this now since 2017, and I can tell you straight up, the people who support candidates like Tulsi Gabbard and Marianne Williamson are fucking nutters, dude. I've watched this happen now for years. And the thing that, the question in itself is modeled around the fact that Adam Schiff got pissed off that Katie Porter announced early that she was running for U.S. Senate, and that Harley Ruda got pissed off that she announced early that she was running for Congress in the Coastal District on California. These things have historical context, but the two of you are so goddamn ignorant when it comes to politics, and I've covered this several times, that you just have these weird takes on what's happening and don't have any context around why somebody would say something. There is context behind this.
You would think after 2016 that they would have learned about, and I don't think that Marianne Williamson is going to do nearly as well as Bernie did in 2016, but certainly Bernie did significantly better than any of them thought he would at that time. Here is Marianne Williamson's...
That's because Bernie actually has a political career. He was a senator for decades. He has legislative experience. Marianne is a self-help new age guru. She has never won a race, not once. And they're going to be able to pull up so many clips of her on the debates from the 2020 cycle where she said spacey things. They're going to be able to pull up all these kinds of tweets, like, I budget $3,600 for orbs every month. They're going to be able to pull this bullshit up. And so I don't understand why you all want to trash your own credibility by trying to defend her and lift her up, because she is not a serious candidate and this is going nowhere.
Response to those comments.
I love her wall color.
I was so sad to see the commentary of the president's press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, about me, about crystal balls, which I've never spoken or written about, and auras, which I've never spoken.
Talk about your orbs, girlfriend. Give me a goddamn break. Yes, you have. I have a screenshot of it on the last video I did. Yes, you have talked about crystal balls. That is what orbs are, right? That's the point of having an orb, is it not? Am I wrong here that you're not getting involved in that bullshit?
Written about, and just speaking so derisively and in such mocking terms about someone who is running for president of the United States. And as a woman, and this is the Democratic Party, I have a constitutional right to run, and my candidacy is about substantive issues and policies. I have made it clear.
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Marianne Williamson. Food, 200. Data, 150. Rent, 800. By the way, I don't know where she lives. First of all, she's like in LA. So there's no fucking way her rent is 800. Rent in LA is like 3,000 a month. Orbs, 3,600. Utilities, 150. Really? Utilities, 150? My gas bill right now is 1,000. Okay. Someone who is good at the economy, please help me budget this. My family is dying. Amy Klobuchar responds, spend less on orbs. Marianne Williams replies, no. I never spoke about crystal balls. Never spoke about crystal balls, right?
Clear in interview after interview that the president is a nice man and that I have no interest in taking personal pot shots. But apparently the White House, or at least as expressed by Karine, doesn't share my commitment to the high ground.
Right.
The hypocrisy here is something that all of us can see, because the president has said on his first day in office that anyone in his administration who spoke disrespectfully about anyone would be fired on the spot. Now, I'm not hoping that Karine Jean-Pierre loses her job over this, but I do hope that from now on this low, derisive, this narrative about me, just obviously meant to get me out of the conversation. I hope that this path is not pursued. It's not good for any of us. It's not good for America. It's not good for the Democratic Party. People are watching. And I hope that everyone who is watching.
I can assure you there are no actual Democratic organizers who are going to help her. Period. The only people she's going to get are people who have employment history problems and are trying to rebuild their resume, or Dem exiters. That's it. She's not going to get any actual Democratic organizers because she is an absolute joke. And I don't work for the White House, honey, so I can say whatever the hell I want.
Realizes this is not just about me. They're not just telling me to get away, like flicker off like a mosquito. It's about you. It's about anyone who, first of all, I think, has faith and takes faith seriously? Or is it just about any woman who speaks out of turn?
Oh, really?
All right, well, I love you, Marianne. That was a little much, but...
Well, stop that kind of...
We don't need to play the whole thing, but but I don't think it's actually that they're trying to keep her out of the race. I think that they want to make it seem like any challenge to Biden in the primary is going to be a joke, and so
Look, not every challenge could potentially be a joke. Like, if Bernie jumped into it, that would be a serious challenge, but he'd probably lose too. Let's be real. But Marianne is a fucking joke. And the fact that y'all trying to treat her as a serious candidate is crazy to me. Because she is a joke. We're not going to elect a new age guru who talks about budgeting $3,600 a month for orbs. Okay? Period.
it's completely needless. It is a total knee-jerk representation. I mean, I don't know who I think would be necessarily at this point who would be a better banner person for, left progressive policies that would be willing to run.
Yeah.
But I mean, in general, I mean, I feel like
well, that's exactly why y'all need to be spending more time backing Katie Porter for U.S. Senate. Because if you want to get a progressive into the White House, she's probably our best shot. But we need to build up her resume before she gets there. So you give her the Senate seat, and then she can run for president. And she is electable. She has won purple districts. This is the reality of our situation right now. She's not totally in with the squad, but she's very close to the squad. And she believes in a lot of the same policies. So you have to think of this methodically and strategically. And if the live streamers are all out there pushing a ridiculous candidate, you are losing your own credibility by doing that. I mean, you're getting very close to Jimmy Dore nonsense at this point.
She wouldn't be my first pick necessarily, just from a perspective of like, I would want someone who is like laser focused on a specific sort of like narrow issue sets, because if you're going to be running a message campaign, I want to know what that message is. I don't want it to be sort of like conflated with issues of, frankly, of faith and this and that. I'm not maligning people who are into that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, like Bernie would have pivoted to like the working class is getting screwed like 8 times.
They made fun of me, however, and then just all fact.
Yeah.
And use that opportunity not for but for the issue that you're running on. I don't want to watch a video of anybody who is running a messaging campaign that lasts longer than 2 minutes, or that goes 2 minutes without bringing that up.
Yeah, but I do want to say too, like, again, it just felt like punching down. She's not going to win. She knows she's not going to win. People that are supporting her know she's not going to win. Okay, but there is a little bit of value that I think she taps into. We've talked about the woo-woo to right-wing pipeline and how anti-vaxxers have taken over.
See Russell Brand.
Russell Brand, we just spoke about it. There is like an impulse from a certain like segment of the population, more spiritual, more.
I don't doubt that.
And she's a representative on the Democrat.
Hey. Can we not conflate the New Age bullshit with actual spirituality? Where are you going with this? Because, I don't think people that are part of traditional organized religions would relate to the bullshit that's going on with Marianne Williamson. I don't think Catholics, I don't think Jewish people, Muslims are going to be like, oh yeah, let me grab an orb. They're not going to be doing that. And I don't think it's unfair to point out that she has this crazy ass shit going on in her background. I don't think that's unfair at all. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're kind of defending her, but not defending her. You're like, I really wouldn't vote for her, but that was punching down. What do you mean it was punching down? She's hiring staff all over the country. It's not like this is a joke campaign for her. She's hiring people all over the country. She's revamping her 2020 efforts. And here you are just like, yes, that was punching down. If she is serious as a presidential candidate, which she appears to be, because she's already hiring people all across the country, then yes, they can make fun of the fact that she's a clown. Okay? Because she's a clown.
Side for that kind of person. It's marginal, I understand. But the reason that it's marginal is why the White House shouldn't be smug about it. Just say, everyone has a right to run. Exactly. Everyone has the opportunity to enter into this race. You want the Democratic Party to be a big tent party? That means as many people as you want into that tent. And if someone like Marianne Williamson can...
No. That is participation in the party, Emma. That's not what competitors do in a race. Okay? Competitors in a race point out why somebody else might not be qualified for the role. That is a ridiculous assertion to apply the big tent philosophy to actual competitors in the race. That's a ridiculous assertion.
It's just some thousands of people
I don't think
who are a little bit more on the granola crunchy kind of like spirituality side, which has beauty in it as well. Then fine, like to bring them over to a democratic message.
I don't even know if that she will bring any of those people over, to be honest with you. But regardless, that comment was less about getting Marianne Williamson out of the race and more about the press secretary trying to be one of like the crew.
Yes,
there.
Right.
Yeah.
This is like in the same way that like it's junior high stuff. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah, that's
exactly. in the main, I'm completely.
Sam, shut the fuck up. Are you for real? She literally said she budgets $3,600 a month for orbs. Can the two of you stop acting like she's fucking for real? She's not for real. And it's okay if the press secretary is like, yeah, she's not for real. This is just a reality. She's not for real. There is no fucking way she's going to win any primary. Period. Okay? And whatever she puts in her messaging, which is pretty watered down, vague bullshit, is not going to matter. Because she will have no Democratic clubs who will walk on the ground for her. It's not going to happen. Okay? They're not going to walk for Marianne Williamson. She's not Bernie, dude.
favor of junior high stuff. It's just that, make sure that you're not doing it to the detriment of whatever your project is.
Yeah, I mean it's a real problem. Like even the question
hippie punching.
in the
Yes.
journalist question itself. Like, are you mad that this doesn't like? Are you mad that basically democracy is happening?
Yeah.
Like it's just a very elitist thing. I mean, to me personally, I'll be interested in Marianne Williamson when she gets a union or a major like movement partner behind her.
Well, I can tell you straight up, she's not going to get any unions. And in fact, all of my union connections are not talking about her whatsoever. She's not approaching unions. She is not approaching clubs that are based on ethnicity. She is not approaching clubs that are based on like LGBTQIA. She's not approaching any of these people. The only thing she's doing is trying to zap up people who worked on the Bernie campaign in 2020. That's all she's doing right now. And her platform is very much kitchen table economics and nothing about human rights. I just don't understand where you all come from with your nonsense. That you're constantly trying to criticize Biden and the campaign there and his staffers and such, but you cannot for a second take a look at how ridiculous it is to run Marianne Williamson. You can't look at that and say, wow, I don't know if that's really going to work. But instead, you're just like, oh, so she made a joke about crystal balls. Dude, it was a well-founded joke. It was a well-founded joke. And yeah, it is a joke campaign. Can we be real? It's a joke campaign.
I think fine. Like I like good run for ideas. I think universal healthcare. That's great. But like this is really about like you and whose army. In my opinion, I think the idea candidacies like are very limited utility and probably shouldn't take up too much of people's time.
And to your point, Sam, like her tweet was like they might think it's a joke, but there's nothing amusing about people going bankrupt from medical debt or children going to bed hungry. Like hammer that,
as opposed to
She doesn't even mention medical debt in that tweet. And she has no idea how much utilities cost. Why? Because she lives in fucking Los Angeles up in Ted Lieu's district, the second richest district in the country. That chick is fucking rich. She doesn't know how much shit costs. $150 for utilities? Give me a goddamn break.
Right,
Yeah,
hammer
right,
that.
right.
Don't hammer that. It's about
You want to silence a woman?
Right. Like it's make it material, make it tangible, make it something that beyond the personal.
Wow. I can't even with you guys. I mean, you guys are so goddamn out of touch when it comes to politics. Somebody on my channel wrote a comment that you're not journalists, you're commentators. I'm also a commentator. And yet somehow I have far more political knowledge than the two of you. And it's really pissing me off that you guys keep doing this.